On February 28, 2022, a 33-year deal died, and a foreign excavator brand walked out of John Deere's shadow into Caterpillar's backyard. Hitachi, spelled Hitachi. For 3 decades, its orange Zaxis machines were sold in America under Deere's green dealer signs. Then the rope was cut. Within 1 year, Hitachi's sales across the Americas grew 10 times by the company's own count. At the same moment, Caterpillar was packing up its global headquarters and leaving the state of Illinois. One company was building dealers in Cat's home market. The other was moving its boardroom to Texas. This is the story of how the rival got loose. Start on a job site, not in a museum. A Hitachi ZX350 crawler excavator, roughly 35 tons of orange steel, swinging a bucket on a North American site, where 10 years ago you would have seen nothing but yellow. That machine runs a hydraulic system Hitachi calls Trias, 3 pumps, built to move oil and sip fuel. Operators who ran it knew the truth long before the dealers caught up. Hitachi hydraulics were good. The problem was never the machine. The problem was that Caterpillar owned the room. Here is the stakes. Caterpillar is the biggest construction equipment maker on Earth, near $67 billion in revenue. Hitachi Construction Machinery sits closer to $10 billion. On paper, it is not a fair fight. Cat has the dealers, the financing, the yellow paint that every contractor recognizes from a quarter-mile away. So how does a company 1/7 the size start taking ground? It stops letting a competitor sell its machines for it. That is exactly what happened, and the date matters. Go back to August 19, 2021. John Deere and Hitachi announced they are ending the joint venture that had bound them since 1988, 33 years. For all that time, Hitachi built excavators, and Deere sold a chunk of them in the Americas through Deere's own network. Deere got the green-painted versions. Hitachi got reach it could not have built alone, but it also stayed invisible. An operator could run a Hitachi-built machine for years and only see a Deere logo. The rival was hidden inside the partner. The breakup terms were clean and brutal. Deere bought the 3 joint venture factories outright. Kernersville in North Carolina, a plant in Brazil, a plant in Langley, British Columbia. Deere kept the right to build and sell Deere-branded excavators going forward. Hitachi agreed to keep supplying Deere with whole machines and parts for the foreseeable future. But the marketing marriage was over. As of February 28, 2022, Hitachi was on its own in North, Central, and South America for the first time in 3 decades. Read that supply arrangement again, because it is the part Caterpillar should fear most. Deere still leans on Hitachi to build whole excavators it then sells under green paint. The rival did not just leave. The rival kept its hand in its old partner's lineup, while standing up a competing brand right beside it. Hitachi was now selling Hitachi machines and supplying the machines a competitor sold too. That is not a company in retreat. That is a company that decided it no longer needed anyone else's logo to win. If you want to watch Caterpillar keep losing ground, subscribe to Quisoup. If you are watching on your TV, find Quisoup and hit subscribe there. Now watch what a freed company does. Hitachi stood up a new operation, Hitachi Construction Machinery Americas, with a headquarters in Noonan, Georgia. Then it moved fast. In the first year alone, it launched nearly 20 new products. It hired more than 150 people. It stocked over $120 million in parts inventory, because a machine with no parts pipeline is a paperweight, and operators know it. It rolled out 13 new Dash 7 excavator models ranging from 13 tons up to 90 tons. And by the company's own numbers, sales across the Americas grew 10 times in that first year off the leash. Think about the contrast. While Hitachi was hiring in Georgia and filling warehouses with parts, what was Caterpillar doing? On June 14, 2022, Caterpillar announced it was relocating its global headquarters to Irving, Texas. Cat had already moved its corporate office from Peoria to Deerfield, Illinois back in 2017. Now it was leaving Illinois entirely. The company that built itself on Illinois soil, the company every operator pictures when they picture a job site, was chasing a tax address in Texas. The boardroom was in motion. The dealers in the field were not the priority. The story told itself. The piece operators care about most is reliability, and this is where Hitachi earned trust the hard way, on the machine. The Trias hydraulic system first showed up in 2011. 3 pumps instead of 2, tuned to keep the controls precise while cutting fuel. On the ZX250 in power mode, the Trius setup cut fuel consumption by about 9%. Hitachi pushed it further with a hybrid, the ZH210, that recovers energy from the swing brake and reuses it, dropping fuel use by as much as 31% against the older model. That is not a billboard claim. That is a number an owner reads on a fuel log at the end of a month. Reliability is also why a Hitachi machine holds its name in the dirt. Reinforced booms, heavier track guards on the ZX350 to protect the link, undercarriages built to outlast the warranty. Operators do not switch brands because of a brochure. They switch because the last machine made it to 10,000 hours without the hydraulics letting go. Hitachi built that reputation over 40 years of excavators, and the Deere partnership had been hiding the badge that earned it. Quick break before we get into what happened next. If you have been on this channel for a while, watching how Cat lost segment after segment, there is a way to make sure you do not miss what is coming. Join the operator tier for $4.99 a month. You get badges that mark you as a working professional in the comments section, custom emoji to call out the corporate decisions that killed Cat, and you get every video 24 hours before the rest of the internet.
To join, open your phone and search Quisoup membership,
or go to the channel page and tap join. Join the operators and engineers who are paying attention. Now back to it. Here is the peak, and it is not in North America. It is at the top of the mining world, where the machines stop being construction excavators and become something else entirely. Keep these two classes separate, because the comment section will not forgive you if you blur them. The ZX line is construction. The EX line is mining. A ZX350 is a 35-ton crawler on a building site. An EX5600 is a 550-ton hydraulic shovel that loads haul trucks at an open pit. Different planet. Same badge. And this is where the word worldwide stops being a slogan and starts being a list of real operations. Go to Hunter Valley operations in New South Wales, Australia. 11 new Hitachi mining machines on that coal site. 6 EX5600 shovels in the 600-ton class, and 5 EX3600 machines in the 400-ton class. They did not pick Hitachi on a whim. They ran a smaller Hitachi fleet for 15 years first, watched the uptime, and then bought 11 more. That fleet supports coal production, reaching 21 million tons a year. That is not a switch on paper. That is 11 votes cast in steel. Go to the new Acland mine in Queensland. An EX5600 brought in for the Stage 3 expansion. A machine over 600 tons feeding the pit. Go to the Pilbara in Western Australia to Rio Tinto's Brockman 4 iron ore mine. From August 2023, Hitachi ran an EX5600 backhoe there, trialing an ultra-durable boom and arm built to last 1.5 times longer, monitored with sensors that track every load. Rio Tinto is one of the largest mining companies on Earth, and it put a Hitachi shovel on trial in its iron ore heartland. And above all of them sits the flagship, the EX8000. Hitachi's largest excavator, around 780 tons of operating weight, near 3,700 horsepower across 2 engines, swinging a bucket past 50 cubic yards in a single pass. When operators in the biggest pits on the planet talk about the machine that loads the truck fastest, that is the conversation Hitachi is winning. Shovel against Caterpillar's own mining line. Worldwide here means Australia, means Canada, means the iron and the coal. Named mines. Named fleets. Not a percentage somebody invented. Now zoom back to America, because the most dangerous part for Caterpillar is not the mine. It is the dealer sign. Since the split, Hitachi Construction Machinery Americas has built an independent dealer network from 0 to roughly 90% coverage of the North American market by June 2025. 90%. 3 years after walking out of Deere's shadow, a foreign brand can sell, service, and stock parts across almost the entire continent on its own name. That is the moat Caterpillar thought it had. A dealer on every corner. Hitachi is building corners. And the parts pipeline is the quiet weapon. Operators do not measure a brand by horsepower. They measure it by how fast a hydraulic line shows up when a machine is down on a Friday. That is why Hitachi parked more than $120 million in parts inventories in its first year alone. A dealer sign means nothing if the shelf behind it is empty. Hitachi filled the shelf before it asked anyone to switch. The Noonan Georgia headquarters was not a press release. It was a supply base aimed straight at the gap Caterpillar left when its attention drifted to Texas. The newest mining machine tells you they are not slowing down. In November 2025, Hitachi launched the EX5600-7P, 558 tons, a 37.5 cubic yard bucket, 12% more production capacity, and about 10% more output per liter of diesel. Built for the high production mines that punish weak hydraulics. Built specifically to take more of the work Caterpillar shovels used to own. So why did operators worldwide move toward Hitachi? Not because of a single ad, because the hydraulics held, because the fuel logs got shorter, because a mine that ran the machine for 15 years bought 6 more, because the moment the deer rope was cut, the rival went direct. Built dealers stocked parts and grew sales tenfold, while Caterpillar's biggest news was a new headquarters address in Texas. One company was selling machines, the other was moving its mailbox. Here is the question I want you to fight about. If Hitachi can go from invisible inside a partnership to 90% dealer coverage and a flagship mining shovel in 3 years, what excuse does Caterpillar have for losing ground in its own home market? Was Cat ever really better? Or did it just own the dealer signs until somebody finally took them down? Tell me in the comments. One more thing before you go. If you really want to be part of the inner circle on this channel, join the site foreman for $9.99 a month. You get a public shout-out in upcoming videos, your name, your operation, your story, validated in front of the entire QuiSoup audience, plus everything from the operator tier. To join, open your phone and search QuiSoup membership or go to the channel page and tap join. And remember, every operator who switched to Liebherr or Volvo a decade ago saw this coming long before the boardroom in Irving, Texas admitted it. See you in the next one.